Hi. So, Minecraft's quote of the day was throw yourself out the ground and miss. They were saying it as as that's what you should do, but I don't know. Anyway, um, yeah, you're probably saying this is Saturday. I mean, not Saturday, Friday, and what happened to golf with your friends and, um, Pac-Man. Well, we just did those, and this is what we're doing to continue the time until 11. And this will probably take until at least until 11. Um, so I was telling the golf stream that right now I didn't get very much done with my story, but I did get another page done. Um, what was I doing? Oh, I was trying to get those videos from yesterday to upload because it was an hour and some odd. Well, we'll say almost 2 hours of GTA and almost 2 hours of Minecraft, right? So that should have loaded a lot faster, but I could not get it to load onto the computer so I could load it onto YouTube. And then when I did load it onto YouTube, it took forever. The figurative forever, where it's like, you're saying it's forever, but it really only took a few hours. Um, yeah. I'm only as good as my equipment. And if my equipment isn't wanting to, I mean, well, I guess I'm only as good as my internet in that case. Um, yeah. So one time I built this, I actually had the track going through the school so you could see everything that I had built. I don't know if I'm going to do that this time. So I was thinking something. There's all this lovely area over here. There's all this lovely area over here, and we need to get it. I mean, we need to do something with it. So, so I was kind of thinking that maybe we'd put the apartments over here, but I really want them over there. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. And I'm kind of thinking we've got a lot of houses already, so we could put some of the um some if not all of the buildings for town, where the movie theater and the bank and all that is. We could put it um hold on. Oh wow. We're down by Cherry Street. Wow. This is a big school. It's even bigger now that I now that I made it the way I wanted it to be. So what I'm trying to say is that, like some of the buildings, like the hardware store and stuff, could be over here. Or, well, the library cannot be over here. It has to be over here. Because the library's got a rose garden maze thing, and it's got, the library's got a rose garden maze behind it, and a big old body of water. Because I don't know what you call that. It's too small to be a lake and too big to be a pond. But I think it is a pond, but I don't know. Whatever you call it. It's got water back there, and it's nice. I need to come bone meal those. It drives me crazy when the trees don't grow. It's like you've had enough time. Grow. So yesterday, for a while there anyway, I was, but then something distracted me, and I don't remember what. It was probably dinner, but something was distracting me. I was, like I would get a row done, and then, like I was trying to go and take off the top layer, and then, the next one go down one, but do the next part of my story at the same time. And I'm not going to do that right now because everybody would probably be like, what is she doing? Why is she taking so long? Why is everything frozen on the screen? I'm not going to do that. I might do that after. But yeah, I was getting so distracted yesterday. I don't even know what was distracting me. Um, well, like, okay, so I kept telling myself I need to do something on Dreamlight Valley. I need to do something on Minecraft. I need to do this, I need to do that. And it's like, well, you know, I, I need to work on my story. So, especially now, especially now, um, because, we're supposed to have an HOA, and, we don't know how, but they, like, didn't send any, didn't send any, hey, you need to pay this, um, to the house, and they should have our address because, the stupid, um, is connected to the address. So, how this happened, I have no idea, but I opened the door yesterday, um, and it was HOA saying, pay us or else. And I don't know what or else means, but it better not mean that we're gonna, um, because the way they made it sound in the first place was like the HOA was gonna get paid out of what we paid for mortgage, and then all of a sudden, oh no, it's an extra fee. So it's like, okay, gee, thanks. We can't afford that, but. So anyway, Um, trying to figure out a way to get a little more caught up on that because they want way more than what we can pay them. And it's like, how do you think that, we got into debt with y'all in the first place? Anyway, so that's part of the reason why I would like everyone to get their valid public watch hours up, because then I could start making money by getting monetized. And at first that money will definitely be going to well, depending on how much I get, you know, it'll be going to the HOA or it'll be going into my savings account. But eventually, I do want it to go to, fun stuff like giveaways or like if I if I could uh help somebody out with their rent, or help somebody out with their mortgage, or maybe they've got that figured out, but they can't and buy groceries at the same time. You know, I'd be willing to help. We've had so many times when we needed help and there was nobody to help. So I would love to be able to help. Um, but yeah, I would like to be able to do those fun giveaways that other YouTubers, can do. Like, Park Pass gives away Disney pins sometimes. Um, PIN. And, because they're pronounced the same. And I think that's nuts. But anyway, they're pronounced the same. So anyway, they give away Disney pins. Maybe not all the time, but um, at least um, twice a year that I remember last year. And then who else was doing a giveaway? I can't remember. I am so sorry. I can't remember. But I know somebody else is doing a giveaway. Well, anyway. Um, yeah, and this is going to depend on. Oh, or we could put I think the fence is high enough that we don't have to worry about the football ending up in the swimming pool. But maybe we could, we've redirected a few other things, so maybe we could redirect the swimming pool and the basketball courts to over here because there's like way too much grass. Oh, but we need to pin the baseball diamonds first. I know that for a fact. We gotta pin the baseball diamonds first. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. Um. Anyway, I know that I'm like really excited about getting the next part of the rest of this page done at the very least, because what ended up happening, what ends up happening is that they need to stop and get fuel in, I want to say it was Iceland. I'm not entirely sure. It could have been Greenland, but it's one of those two. Or somewhere up, somewhere, anyway, somewhere up in that area, they had to stop. Well, Ben doesn't speak the language. He speaks English and that's it. He's an American soldier. Um, oh, maybe he knows like Gaelic, for Irish or yeah, like maybe he knows Gaelic, but he doesn't know their language. And, Sean knows all of the languages. I got that idea um from Indiana Jones because it was like he knows 14 languages and um and I just thought it would be really cool. I always think it'd be really cool to learn all of the languages. I don't have the patience, but like all the languages from all of the world. And because I wanted to if I was going to learn a language like say Spanish, I was trying to learn Spanish for the longest time. I wanted it to be easy to learn the language, like like I've been speaking English all my life. I wanted the I wanted it to just come naturally after a while, and it didn't. So I think that's because I'm one of those people that like you can't just teach me it in school. It has to be like um I think the reason why addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division are so easy is because like mama could do stuff at home to like or well like counting. It was okay. You've got this many M&Ms, and if like say you got 8 M&Ms, and you take two away, um, how many do you have left? And the answer is six. So, like that came easy, but I wanted Spanish to come that easy, and it just wasn't. And I think I was saying sentences the American way, and I'm pretty sure that the way you say it in Spanish is sometimes or all the times, I'm not sure which, kind of backwards to the way that we would say them in English. And yeah, so like my senior year, I just quit. I was like, no, I'm done. I got to like Spanish 1.5 or something like that. Um like I think I took Spanish my freshman year, and I took Spanish 1.5 the next year because I wasn't good enough for Spanish 2. And then I think I just gave up on the whole idea. I didn't have to take, I don't think I had to take it the next year. I just, I took it because I was trying to learn. Because, like, my mom and grandma and I think dad started learning at some point in time. Um, anyway, they all were speaking Spanish, around Christmas time, and it was like, as long as you weren't specifically talking about Barbies or something like that, they could go and use Spanish as a way to not spoil what the Christmas present was. And I wanted to learn. Well, that didn't work. I started trying to learn it in I started trying to learn it in junior high, so 7th and 8th grade. And it just didn't work. Actually, I think I took it in 8th grade. Maybe not both of them. But whatever. I couldn't learn it. I think if I had one of the I mean, I learned some of it. Um my husband can go and ask me uh what does this mean? And um I'll be able to tell him what it is. Like El Pollo Loco, that's the crazy chicken. And that makes me want to eat there less. Because what if the crazy chicken means that they were following what one of the Jack in the Boxes did one time? Instead of having hamburger meat, they had, I don't know, horse or something like that, and it's like it's not the same. Or kangaroo at one point. And it's like um we didn't eat there very often. We ate the sourdough jack, and that was about it. But I think they must have had like a discount day on sourdough jacks, because it was like, okay, get a Whopper for $1. Yeah, I know that's a crazy number, but our Jack in the Box used to have a Whopper for $1. I mean, our Burger King used to have a Whopper for $1. Um, it was just like once a month, I think, or maybe it was on Whopper Wednesday. But anyway, they were only $1, so they knew that they were going to um make more money on those days, and for a family of five, that worked really well. I remember when I was a kid. That was before mom and my sister and my brother. We used to go to McDonald's like all the time, but on Wednesdays, not Wednesdays, Sundays, me and Mama would go to church with Grandma and Grandpa, and we'd go to Burger King. And I don't know what I got. I probably got, like the little hamburger. Um, the only thing that is little. I probably got a hamburger or chicken nuggets, something like that. And, I don't remember uh, what I got, and that's not important. It's that we got to go to the restaurant, and we sat there and we ate it. We didn't, like go through the drive-through and hope the heck that our um, order was correct, and we don't use the drive-thru anymore. 95% of the time, if we go through the drive-thru, something will be messed up. Like we'll order 2 Coca-Colas, and one will be a Sprite when we get when it gets handed to us. Or we specifically said no onions, and they both have onions. I know that's one of those things that you could just, set them aside, not eat them, but you got to get your fingers all gross with mayonnaise. I'm talking if it's a Whopper. You have to get your fingers all gross with mayonnaise to set them aside. Or you have to dirty a spoon or a fork, but, to get them out. But then you'd probably end up taking out half the condiments, so. The mayonnaise and ketchup and mustard. That's what condiment means. Just in case you don't know. No, wait, that's probably gonna be grass. I don't know. We need to make, like I said, we need to make a baseball diamond, and we need to make 3. I remember there being 2, but I remember there being 2, but I'm willing to do 3 if we have room. Okay, so I think the clearing of my throat thing, all I have to do is drink some water and I'll be good. Now, the question is, will that tree continue to grow? Well, the answer now is no, but oh, good. Yeah, everybody wants to invite me to their Discord. Okay, so I had some water. And that did not help. Okay, so oh, people are trying to talk to me. Oops. Sorry about that. On Discord. If they were going to add anything on here, I would appreciate a button that goes directly to add a friend. If you're like in a conversation with somebody, have a button on the other half of it that somewhere on that screen, because at the top it says friends and stuff, but there's no direct link to the add a friend. So I have to go and back it up and back it up and back it up. So everybody always wants to add me to their Discord. They don't want to talk to me in the chat. Okay, so, yeah. Okay. And then what was the other person that was trying to talk to me? I don't know. There was somebody that had like 5 different. I don't know. Okay. So I added herty_55, their first time chatter, to my Discord. And that's not their Discord name, just so you know. And okay, I don't know what that says. VINIOC 98 is another first time chatter. And that's not their Discord name either. But yeah, I add them too. Yeah, I am willing to talk to just about anybody on Discord, as long as they're nice. And most of the people have been. They've been, actually all the people have been. I just realized when you say most, you leave it up for some people are being rude to you. And that's not what I was meaning. I was meaning, everybody's been nice. It's just that some people have been saying, hey, I can help you with your artwork. I can help you with your artwork. Yeah. And I'm not looking for artwork right now. I mean, art help. I call it art help. I'm not looking for that right now. I know I cannot afford it. And, that could be part of what the money for the, for getting monetized is for. It could be. I don't know. But the thing is that right now I cannot afford artwork. And most of most of the artwork that I've seen looks cartoony. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more realistic. I'm looking for I'm looking for like AI quality stuff that does not have the obvious, 3 feet, or they're juggling knives on a rocky ship deck, and they've got 3 knives in one hand and 3 knives in the other hand, and yeah, they had like 12 knives, but it was, we'll just do this for now. They had like 12 knives, but they were all in their hands at the same time. That would look really cool if they could pull it off, but that's not what I was looking for. So yeah, there's some obvious problems, but there's some obvious problems in my AI pictures, but they're more what I want to see. I would love it if I could have a studio and just take a picture of two people in that situation. But, in the situation that I'm trying to photo, like specifically, if I could build, like, I mean, if I could have somebody build a Hollywood mock-up of of fictional France, and I'm gonna have to take it out of the just because file and rebuild it in its own, either in its own or in this one, but far, far away from, um, I think the reason why I was trying to get it to where I had one file only. But over here is fireworks, and over here is fictional Ireland, and over there was Disneyland. And I was trying to put it all in one, and that doesn't work. So Disneyland is in its own file. I could. I don't know that I'm going to, but I could set it up to where um I could set it up to where um I have got Disneyland and Disney World and um and Disneyland Paris and all them. Well, I wouldn't be able to do. The only thing is that I would not be able to do Pirates of the Caribbean from Shanghai Disney. Well, I wouldn't be able to do Shanghai at all, probably. And then they're going to be like, trying to contact me saying, why'd you leave us out? And I'm going to be like, because I haven't been there. That's the only reason. Well, I haven't been to Disneyland Paris. I haven't been to Disney World. I um, haven't been to Tokyo Disney. All the other Disney parks. I've only been to Disneyland. And Disneyland's actually enough for me. But I think when I go and build Disneyland, um I'm not gonna have it to where Tom Sawyer's Island is partially um I'm gonna try to build Tom Sawyer's Island the correct way and then have Star Wars Land um off to the left a little bit, but not crashing into the Winnie the Pooh ride or Critter Country. If I have to, I'll like extend the path so there's a little bit more to it. Um, I don't know how I'm gonna build that. I just don't. Um, like every time somebody shows Star Wars Land, I don't understand where anything is. And I don't think I can go on Google and just go, okay, I want to see this part right here and look around and figure out where I am. Because I know that if you go down the one path, there's this big old store thing, and it's got like, I think that's the spot where you get the lightsabers and maybe that one restaurant's in there and stuff like that. But it's like um, I don't understand it yet. And unless they go and make a new Disneyland Adventures video game um, for the Xbox Series X, I'm not gonna know. I wish they would. And that's probably asking too much, but if it could be the quality of Dreamlight Valley and like really feel like you're there. I would I would love it if they could do like a D-Box thing and um I keep saying this, but like the D-Box at the movie theater, you're like watching um what was it? Top Gun Maverick or Maverick Top Gun? Anyway, it's that not the first one back in the 80s, but the newer, but that newer one that they came up with all of a sudden, and he's trying to fly literally. He's trying to fly out of this one gorge or whatever, and he's got to do it at a certain speed because otherwise A, the engine's gonna stall, or B, he's just gonna crash right into the mountain. But it was for it was like for a mission. So, and Goose's kid, which I thought was kind of funny because Goose's kid was blonde, and when he grew up, he had darker hair. Now that does happen sometimes, really does. Apparently, when my father-in-law was younger, he had blonde hair, and now he's got, uh, I don't want to say black hair, but like, mm, dark brown, black, something like that. Um, I've got a cup well, I mean, my husband's got a cup in the kitchen, unless he took it with him. Um, he puts hot cocoa in it. And I think that is so, I think that's so funny because, we've got a working heater now. We've got working windows. He doesn't really need it, but I guess, people that have working stuff in their cars, um, I guess people that have working stuff in their cars take their coffee with them, so why not? You know. Um, anyway, I wish they would go and like, you might have to have um, like room in your garage or room in the you might have to have room in your garage or room in your house somewhere, but it would be a D box, like the old arcade games. And you'd have like the VR headset thing on, virtual reality headset on. I don't think that's what they call it now, but you'd have that, and you'd also have on you'd probably have to have on headphones, and there'd be a thing that simulates smells around Disneyland. So you like feel like you're really there. And I think they would make a ton of money if they if they would come up with that. I'm not going to say it would be easy, cuz I don't think it would. But, like they could they got scratch and sniff stickers, or teddy bears and dolls that smell like strawberries and stuff, and chocolate and stuff. So why wouldn't they have, this D-box thing? You could have a real experience. Like it could be a thing where it's got like a treadmill. It could be a thing where it's got like a treadmill in front of a chair. And, of course, it would have to be a comfortable chair. But, like a treadmill in front of a chair. And, um, when you're walking around Disneyland, you could be, when you're walking around Disneyland, you could be, standing up, walking on that treadmill. And then when you're on one of the rides, and, you know, you'd have to buy each ride individually. Each ride and attraction. Because, and like, if, Adventures with Mr. Lincoln, I think that's what it was called. That doesn't sound right. But anyway, um, that doesn't sound right. Um, but anyway, you'd have to buy that separate from the Walt Disney Story, you know, and the Tiki Room, and the you'd have the really cool, um uh, I've never went there before. I've only seen it on TV shows, and I mean, like the Disney specials, like the Golden Horseshoe Review. But you'd have like the show at the Golden Horseshoe while you're eating. Um, you'd have um you'd have, well, you could have the hover bumper spaceships, but you'd have to be really careful about that. That was only there for the one. Um, I don't know if it was there for the one time or the one, uh, for like that specific day. Um, but like people don't like doing bumper things anymore because it gives certain people whiplash, and everybody else is okay. So you'd have to do something about that. Um but you could have, like the rides that aren't there anymore. Like just, that, or like the speedboats. I bet nobody remembers the speedboats, but I do. And they weren't really speedboats because, they were nice and slow like Autopia, but still, I remember those. Of course, I remember that they were two seats, and my mama was in the one behind us in the pictures, and you know, it's it's fun to watch those videos, you know, and you know, remember Mama and and see how we were a family way back when. Um, when I was little, I always thought, the the couple gets married, you grow up, you have kids. I mean, not grow up and have kids. You get a little older, you have kids, and you stay together forever, and it just doesn't happen that way that often anymore, and makes me sad. I always thought my parents would get back together, and then of course they didn't. Dad got remarried, and Mom got remarried for a little while, and my sister that I always talk to on the streams, she came around, and then our brother, and yeah, it may not be the family that I was envisioning, but it works. Oh, I need one more brick for, and I don't have it. Yeah. I need one more brick before I can build a baseball diamond. I need the dirt block. I mean, the dirt path. So, I've been working on my story, and I'm pretty happy with the results. Some of it I was like, okay, I need to change this, but I was just, not wanting to change it at that moment. So I might go back and change it again anyway, and have to do that whole chapter all over again. But I was like sitting there going, I don't know how to fix this. Or like one of the problems with my story, I did figure out a way to fix it, but I didn't know how to do it that day. And then I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh, well, okay, we should do it this way. And it was just fine. So, like sometimes I'm just going to need a little bit of time to go and figure it out. And that's bugging me because I'm like, I should know. I don't know why I think I should know, but I should know. So, so it's kind of bugging me. But I'm at the point where if I could just have some time where I don't feel distracted and where I don't feel distracted and I could really concentrate on my book, I could get the rest of the chapter done, I'm sure, and it'll be great. And I've been changing stuff along the way. Um, like certain answers, like certain answers to what somebody just said just don't sound right. And then I'm like, how can we fix that? And then I can't think of anything. 'Cause like somebody said something, and then the other person's, and then I think it was Sean said good, But good didn't quite make sense. But I left it because I was like, I didn't know what to put because he said, like two things, and good fit the one thing, but good didn't fit the other thing. So, yeah, I don't exactly understand what I was supposed to do with that, and I will figure it out. But I'm like sitting here going, okay, this part sounds rough draft, this part sounds polished, and or this part needs a little bit of tweaking and it sounds polished and no longer sounds rough draft. Um, yeah. If you don't know what a rough draft is, it's like when you go and put the idea down on paper and you're just trying to get it, you're just trying to get it written so you can write the rest of it at a later time or even right then. But, yeah, like you got an idea. You've got an idea that three or four kids are sitting on the roof of this building watching the adults have a meeting, and they're in like a house construction. They're at a house construction site, and they're having a meeting, and the kids wanted to know what was going on. Um, the kid. I think the kids were between 10 and 15, something like that. And they just wanted to know what was going on, and I don't remember what happened after that. But you go and put that on paper, and then you come up with a story to go around it. I have not done that yet. That could be something that goes to one of my pirate stories. Um, or maybe it could be one of the next parts of the cadet and the assistant manager series. So far it's only 2 books, so I don't know if you'd call it a series then, but yeah, so far it's just 2 books, and it'll get done eventually. I mean, it's done. It's just, I probably gotta tweak it a little bit. Just like I'm doing with my pirate books. Thing is that I want to finish Test and Love, like, right now, and that's not gonna, it, I think that's what's distracting me, is I want to get it done now, and I can't do that because I'm turning it into an audio at the same time, and that's helping me a lot because like Sean was asking, can I fly the plane, or may I fly the plane, Dad? And I had a comma between plane and Dad. Well, that didn't sound right in the audio version, so I'm like, oh, okay, we'll just take it out. I think I did that on both. I'm not sure. Because they're not supposed to be a pause. It's just supposed to be Dad. It's just supposed to be, may I fly the plane, Dad? And, because then there's no, well, I was gonna, like if he said, can I fly the plane, Dad? There would have been, well, I was gonna say yes, but now that you had asked the wrong way, no. Yeah. So I made him I made him ask ask the correct way, and it's Morgan has noticed that they don't speak the best English sometimes, and she wants the kids to speak better English. And like when they're at school, it's, we didn't do this, ma'am. And I mean, thing is though that they did do it. They're just like they kind of turned into evil Sean and evil Jesse for a moment there. Like the pirate version instead of their home version. And um and they beat up Danny McAndrews, but then they wanted to go and make sure that he made it to the infirmary safely. They wanted him to learn something, not die. So, anyway. Anyway, so the part that I'm at right now, Sean had to get up to stretch. I know, I've said this before in this video. But anyway, Sean had to get up to stretch, and he ended up getting tied up next to the doorway that leads to the cockpit. And he he gets tied up, and he's not quite close enough to lean against the wall. Well, then 2 hours later, Sean feels that the airplane is starting to go lower in altitude, and he's like, "Why are we landing?" And Ben says, "Fuel." And he has to switch the intercom on so everybody can hear what the people are saying, and Sean translates. And it turns out that, yeah, they need to come down, and I mean that they're being told, yeah, come down, fuel up your plane, and that they're being invited to Gunnar, I'm not sure how to say that, and Lilija's house. I'm probably butchering her name too. But anyway, I thought they were pretty good names. So, I use, some kind of baby, baby name website. Sometimes it's Pampers. It's not always Pampers, but sometimes it is. Anyway, use some kind of website, like I'll say American Baby Names. Or actually, okay, so like if I'm looking for a boy baby name, I will put in American Boy Baby Names, because I don't want to be sitting there trying to sort through all of the, boys and girls and trying to figure out which one's which. So I'll put in baby boy names, and then I'll put in, like, say, Russian baby girl names, I don't know what I put in to get Gunnar and Lilija's names, but I probably put, okay, If it's Iceland, I probably put Iceland baby names, and it came up with was it Icelandic baby names, and I was happy because I picked out the two, and it's all good. I don't know why I keep putting my phone over there. I can't reach it if it's over there. You know what? I may go on Dreamlight Valley. Because this needs to get done. It very much needs to get done. But if I go in Dreamlight Valley, then I will only end up on there for a little while because I'm trying to do very specific things there. I'm trying to get the dill, I'm trying to get the button mushrooms, I'm trying to get fish sold, and what else? Oh, and I need to make um like 3 more meals with jellied fish, or 2 more meals, something like that. Hopefully that'll be the end of that one, and I can start collecting jellied fish. I've been going to every single one of the stalls on Wish Blossom Ranch. It's so weird. It smells like somebody is making spam and mac cheese. More the spam than the mac cheese, but... Oh! Okay, so another person I have on here, mostly because that way I can have it on my screen and not necessarily listen to it while my husband does. But I've got DJ Goham on there. He's mildly entertaining. That's why I put, sometimes he says stuff funny, and I'm like, I'm laughing because, he said it a weird way. Not making fun of him kind of thing, but, just, I think it's funny. So I put DJ Goham on my list, even though I don't play Farm Sim. They're doing Farm Sim, mostly doing Farm Sim 25 right now. And then if there's a Farm Sim 26 that's going to come out, he's probably going to get that. But I think that's one of those things where it comes out like every 2 years. Or every 3 years, something like that. I know there's a Farm Sim 19. And a Farm Sim 22. And Farm Sim 25. So there'll probably be a Farm Sim 28 coming out. If you go with the idea that it was every 3 years, it'll probably be a Farm Sim 28 going to be coming out eventually here. And I heard through the Xbox, how it shows you the new games that are going to be coming out, and you could pre-sale. I mean, you could buy the game on a pre-sale and it'll be cheaper. Or maybe it won't be cheaper, but it'll have the you might be able to get extra stuff because they've got like the standard edition, the deluxe edition, and the premium edition or something like that. Yeah. Um Anyway, it's something like that. Um, and the premium and deluxe edition usually come with, extra goodies if you're buying Dreamlight Valley. But anyway, I heard through the Xbox that there's going to be Forza Horizon 6 coming out sometime this year, 2026, and that there will be GTA 6 coming out sometime this year. My husband said that maybe not until November for that one. And I didn't catch the date, or they didn't drop it yet for Forza Horizon 6, but either way, I don't think I'm going to be able to get either one, so. So they were worrying me, my husband and I, I think my son too. They were saying that the Xbox points go away after a while. And so I'm like, I'm trying to save up enough points that I can at least get us a discount on my copy of for GTA 6. And that's the problem though. I want both. And it's not going to be $50. So I'm not going to be able to, like, say, go and get a, I'm not going to, I don't think I'm going to be able to make a deal with my husband. If I come up with the $50, he'll come up with the 60 because it's going to be a $70 game, I think, or an $80 game, something like that. I think it said $79.99. Um, anyway, there was definitely a 7 in the number. To start out with. So I think it was like $79.99, and I get I usually get 25 for my birthday, but I think they sent 50 last time. But anyway, the thing is that, whatever money I get, it's not going to be enough. So, yeah. That could be another thing that monetization money goes to is, getting me the stuff that I need to keep making content. I would be perfectly willing to help people get DLCs on, to get DLCs on Dreamlight Valley. I guess other games too, but fair warning, it's gonna be games that I think are appropriate, not, you know, like you can't just like say, hey, Call of Duty um and I need the season 1 game pass or whatever. I think I just mixed Call of Duty and Fortnite together. But you know, I mean if it's Fortnite, I would probably be willing to do it even though I don't like Fortnite myself. Um it's a lot of shooting and it was hurting my wrist very badly cuz it doesn't seem to matter what I do. I don't have the automatic weapon like I do on my girl character on GTA. I've got the little wimpy one shooter, one shot at a time, and it doesn't work. You know, it just doesn't work. So, but like I said, it hurts my wrist, and I just don't like playing it. And the fact that I have to have somebody to play with me to get the whatever it is done kind of bugs me too. Like on GTA, I can sit, I can sit here and I can do the photo of the animals. I can do the um, car wash, the stuff for the club. I don't do popularity missions without. Um, I usually don't do popularity missions without somebody though, because some of them involve flying the Zeppelin or flying something, and I'm like, I can't do that. I tried to do the flight school, and I ended up rage quitting because the spot where they had the airplane, and they wouldn't let you back up, the spot where they have the airplane, you try to go forward, and you crash into an oil tanker. So I tried to do it, and I tried to do it, and I tried to do it, and it did not work. It would not go up. I cannot fly planes in GTA. I can fly helicopters, just can't fly planes. Now, just so everybody knows though, Ireland is not this flat. It's just that since it's Minecraft, I had to build it flat because, um, otherwise it's gonna look weird. Um, because like hold on. Okay, like this is all flat and stuff. And then you go over here and this part has the sidewalk. Well, you cannot put a track on this part. It's just not going to connect up. So, I built it flat, and then I came up with the idea of how to do the sidewalk because I didn't like the sidewalk being flat at all whatsoever. You're probably asking, could you just not put the track in? Well, yeah, but then, like you're flying around and trying to trying to show everybody what you did, and it doesn't work very well because, um, ah! There, that's better. It doesn't work very well because, you're like either going so fast or it does work, but it seems to take forever. Anyway, I like doing the making it look like you're in a car and driving around and this is what you see. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to take the top off of this and then we're going to do something else. There's some new stuff. Apparently there is a paper route now. There's something with a forklift. I didn't quite understand what he was doing. I mean, not what he was doing, but why he was doing. But anyway, there's a paper route, and there was one more thing. I can't remember what. Oh, you can buy the pizza bike for free at the moment. Um, like just this week or something like that. I don't remember what the details were. I think it's until February. I don't know. It's either just this week or until February. But you can buy the pizza bike, and then you can use that to deliver pizzas. But I didn't see much of a change, and I maxed that thing out, just like I do all my just like I do all of my cars. Well, all of the ones that I have a lot of Dukes of Death on my girl character on GTA. Oh, I'm sorry, I was talking about GTA. There's a new paper route thing, and the yeah, I lost it. Paper route, pizza, and the forklift. Anyway, there's new stuff. I think there's more stuff than that, but I don't know. And you can find the paper route thing on when you go in and you look at uh you look on your phone, and not on your phone, that doesn't sound right. No, you press the three lines button, and you bring up the map. You can find the paper route on the map, or just scroll through the thing and, um, you know, I know I'm not describing it very well, but anyway, scroll through what you've got, and like how you find the casino and the arcade and all that stuff. You can find the paper route in there somewhere. He didn't actually tell me what it was called, so I can't share that information. Husbands. Okay. So anyway, I write books, and they're available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. I'll give you the short form um of the titles. They're The Rolling Sea, Beginnings, and Traitor. So, Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, Hard Times, Esperanza's Party, The Island, Lessons in Love, and a separate series called Adopted, and the first book is Coral. And it's for children, and it has pictures that I've taken of my cats, and a little story to go with it. Um, it might not flow like a regular story. It's just like, this is what's going on in this picture, this is what's going on in that picture. But anyway, it should be readable for children. And if you are watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. And if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. And I will see you in the next stream or video.